Psychological safety. This is what we're here to discuss today. Psychological safety, as defined by Amy Edmondson, is psychological safety is a belief that one will not be punished, humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes, and that the team is safe for interpersonal risk taking. Now, just think about it very carefully. Think about your work situation. All these elements that she has mentioned here, does that exist within your organization? Psychological safety takes work and effort from leaders. Leaders have to be intentional about promoting psychological safety. It just doesn't happen by itself. It's one of those things that can quickly, if not present, make a work environment very, very toxic. And we all have battle scars and war stories about environments that we worked in that are not necessarily safe or did not promote learning. And I can give you a very good example from mine. I worked in an organization once where every day was like going into a battlefield. It was a very toxic environment. Morale was at its all-time low. People were just anxious. Anxiety levels were so high. Dev managers will intentionally pick fights with people. Dates kept slipping, and no one had the courage to speak up because you would get blamed. The pay was really, really good, but all of a sudden people started leaving. And meetings could become quickly very volatile, where there would be fist fights and all sorts of very horrible behaviors that should not be displayed in a workplace. But the one thing that struck me there was that in spite of the fact that the pay was very good, there was a high staff turnover. People would come out from meeting rooms with red eyes, wet eyes, because they've been crying, they've been shouted on, they've been screamed at, at some point, there were even fist fights within the work environment, which was not right for anyone to have to see that. What does that say to you about the leadership? What does that say to you about the environment? For sure, I left, and many other people left as well with me. And Amy Edmondson is one of the big proponents of psychological safety. She is one person that I would advise that, if you're really interested in this subject, just follow her. She's got so many wonderful materials out there. Another person that touches my heart a lot, is Timothy R. Clark. And he is a wonderful, wonderful also author of psychological safety. And he said it is a condition where human beings feel, one, included, two, safe to learn. Think about it. As human beings, we always want to feel included. As part of your team, you want to be included. You want to be in an organization or in a team where you are safe to learn, safe to contribute. That is why you're part of a team. You need to be able to contribute your part, your expertise. That is why you're being paid, and that is why you come to work every day. Safe to challenge the status quo. This is quite a very challenging and interesting one, because usually what happens, and especially in environments where there's little or no psychological safety, it's all about command and control, where you are able to air your opinion, and even if you do, you get shouted down at. And finally it says, all without the fear of being embarrassed, marginalized, or punished in some way. Now think about it, and think about your organization very carefully, or your workforce. If you're a team leader, if you are a head of anything at all, or you run a project team or anything at all, look at these four different elements and tell me, are these things that happen or exist within your team? If not, I think it's time to do some kind of inspect and adapt. Sit back and do the analysis. And also, he also went ahead to define the four different stages of psychological safety. Inclusion safety. Do you feel included or accepted within your team and organization? And we're not just talking about, good feeling kind of inclusion. Do you feel actually as part of that team? It is really important that you feel part of the team when you are in an organization or within your team. Learner safety. Are you safe enough to learn and grow? Can you ask questions comfortably without fear? Can you feedback and can you give feedback, and can feedback be received without fear? Contributor safety. Are you able to contribute? Are you able to participate without fear? And finally, he defined the last one as challenger safety. Do you have the ability to challenge the status quo? And I find that the most difficult one usually is number 4, which is challenger safety. Management do not like to be challenged. People do not like to be challenged. So they're okay with number 1, number 2, number 3, but number 4 becomes a very big issue because human beings generally do not like to be challenged. And that is where change mindset begins to come into play within agile transformation.